Hello, my dear friends. I'm Stanislav Shamayev, a licensed business immigration and corporate attorney in Miami, Florida. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how healthcare professionals can come to the States and work here, or maybe even get a green card. At the end of this video, you will be able to learn how to get a free evaluation of your case. Let's go. All right, why are we talking about healthcare professionals and medics, maybe scientists, and maybe education people who educate on these kind of topics? Because there's a huge shortage of medical professionals in the United States of America. Also, because I have a really good experience bringing people with medical education here in the States. The last two approvals that I got for a green card for medical professionals were for hypnotherapists and for psychologists, right? So you can see that. So there is no limitation what kind of medical education you have. It's possible to come here to have a work visa or even get a green card. So let's first discuss what options you have to come here being a medical professional. Let's talk about non-immigrant visas, right? So visa number one is H-1B. And of course, we all know that H-1B visa is a visa for professionals with higher education. And there is a lottery component in this visa. Of course, you gotta have an employer. Each March of every year, we have a lottery where you have 25, maybe to 30% a chance to be selected for this type of visa. I think this is a good visa for those of you who are lucky ones, but I think there are better options for you. First of all, that's O1A visa, visa for people with extraordinary abilities. And I want to discuss this visa alongside with EB-1A visa, which is extraordinary visa that gives you a green card, right? And O1 visa is a visa for 3 years. In this context, we need to show that you have some recognition in your field, that you are recognized by other medical experts and by maybe other organizations. That entails a press about you, your publications, your higher salary, you being called as a judge, evaluate other professionals or their skills. Maybe you're a member of professional associations that accept only professionals with high achievements. Also, oftentimes, medical professionals having a higher education, maybe a master's, maybe PhD, you guys have dissertations. One of the greatest criterion that I want to see in any kind of EB-1A or EB-2 national interest waiver visas, because dissertation means that you have a very good chance to get a green card to the States. Maybe you made some contribution in a field, maybe you invented some cure, some methodology, some analysis, maybe you wrote a book, maybe like dissertation could be one of the things that could be a contribution to the field. Maybe you are called to be a speaker at conferences and they make publications afterwards. So anything in your medical field, anything that's recognized as achievement, that may be used to satisfy one of the criteria. Also, if you work for a hospital or maybe for a lab or for the private clinic or some other organization, maybe government organization that has a high reputation in the field, we can satisfy the criteria of a critical or leading role in a distinguished organization. Further, I will need to have a recommendation letters about you and your talents, 10 for O1, 15 for EB-1A, and also for O1 visa, like I said, you need to have an employer, and for EB-1A visa, it's a self-petition. You don't have to have an employer, but we need to make sure that you know exactly what you're going to be doing here in the States to continue to develop your talent. Okay, there's also a visa which I don't really talk much about. This is visa EB-1B. It's for professors and researchers. So if you are a researcher and or you are a professor in the university or some kind of school, if you have an employer in the States, you can also get this green card. Further, EB-2 National Interest Waiver, one of my favorite visas right now. And I think this one is really good for doctors, for medics, for people with a higher education in this field. And what I need to have is at least a bachelor and 5 years of experience, or master's or a higher degree. PhD is really good. And your understanding what exactly you will be doing here in the States. If you're gonna join a clinic, if you're gonna join a hospital, if you're gonna be doing consulting services, or you're gonna be working to further the science. If you're gonna make publications, books, and publish them here, that's gonna be your endeavor. And definitely everything that has to do with medicine and drugs and cures and helping people to feel better and to be healthy is in the national interest of the United States of America. So if you really know what kind of work you're going to be doing here, and it doesn't necessarily involve an employer, although it could be, right? It could be also an employer, but it could be without that. And this visa is the second exception in all EB visas that gives you a green card, besides EB-1A. So EB-1A and EB-2 national interest waiver are the only two visas can get you a green card without an employer. And again, if there is an employer, it's good. But if there is none, then we need to show what exactly you'll be doing here and how that's in a national interest waiver for EB-2 national interest waiver, and for EB-1A it's a much lighter requirement. Also, I don't want to exclude L1 visa and E2 visas in the respect of doctors. Why? Because I can see that a hospital could be international, or a lab could be international, and you could be working in an affiliated branch of that company outside of the US, and they want to bring you here in the US. That could be L1 visa, maybe L1B, or could be E2 visa if you're from the treaty country and you have an investment of $100,000 of clean money. Then you can bring them here and start your medical practice here, as long as you get your licensing requirements satisfied, or you bring another American doctor, and I have cases like that. And you can be a doctor on an investor visa. This is something that's only for those of you who have entrepreneurial spirit and also dealing in the medicine. And of course, EB-2 national interest can also cover people who are dealing with pandemics, with COVID, with viruses and things like that. This is still a hot topic. If you're one of those professionals, I'm pretty sure I can get you EB-2 national interest waiver visa with a very high rate of success. Okay, if you guys like, oh my God, Stanislav, I think I have a couple of publications, maybe I have a dissertation, I wrote a book, and I speak at the conferences, and I have really good project, and maybe there's some press about me or my project, and maybe I work in a good company or a good hospital or good clinic. If you have different combinations of those, then you may qualify for some of those visas that I mentioned. And if this is the case, you probably have a question, well, how do I actually know if I satisfy the criteria, or if I can get one or the other visa? Well, this is very easy if you watch my videos. Why? Because you can get a free evaluation that's done by me by going down below this video in the description portion of this video and find the link to the visa that you think you satisfy by your achievements or by your education, whatever that is. If you think you satisfy a few visas, fill out different links, right? There is no problem. If you think you're good for EB-1A and for EB-2 national interest waiver, fill out different questionnaires. And I will give you a free analysis of your case. And if I think that you have a good chance of getting this or that visa, then I will invite you to the immigration planning, where I will build a strategy of filing your petition. Alright guys, if you love my videos, give me some love. Smash that like button, comment, share this video, talk to your friends about this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, press that bell button not to miss the 2 videos I release every week. And also subscribe to my Instagram and to my TikTok, so we are connected on all platforms. I am Stanislav Shamaev, a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.